Hello. I didn't see you come in. Welcome. Welcome to the Advancement Center, and welcome to the world of magic and miracles. Perhaps you have just discovered this channel, and I'm so glad you did. As a child, you were promised a magical future. And we here at the Advancement Center uphold that promise by shining a bright light on the truth of your being here at this time and acknowledging your origin, your originality, and power to bring in a bright future for all. That's why we're here. Today's date is February 12th. You may be watching at a much later date, but here in the USA, we celebrate Abraham Lincoln's birthday, February 12th, our 16th president. And since our days in elementary school, we learned about honesty and telling the truth in the story of admitting how an apple tree was cut down. Abraham Lincoln is known for freeing the slaves. Just 2 days ago, David, a beloved member of our team, wrote an eloquent piece on the real slavery. He recounted many horrific actions without regard for the sacredness of life. And a few of his words read, "This is now being removed from the human experience, for the freeing of our minds has been coming, gaining steam with the delivery of the light, information, and energy from all who have supported our true magnificence." He took us from one end of the spectrum to the other. Thank you, David. Now, if you're new, I get to tell you how each week I read from my journal and I write in it every day. And I have a really wonderful pen pal. Yeah. His name is Simeon and doesn't come from here. In fact, he's not located here, but perhaps you'll catch on. Okay. Well, this is what I wrote this morning. Dearest Simeon, just woke, and yesterday feels like a dream. And thank you for being the place I could go to and find relief of the weight I had picked up to carry. You are the fire escape to a burning building. It is as though they expect a fire. And then in quotes, it says, be the person around whom people feel safe. That's from Facebook. And I wrote, "You are that one." Any words for my broadcast? I hope so. And he wrote, "Dearest Barbara, when you react, you activate what you reacted to. And your activation of the words that hurt you are maximized and hurt even more. And hurt even now. And despite, forgive me, it's my handwriting that I am unable to decipher." At any rate, he continues, "That's what controllers want, a deepening of their message. They want a reaction, which makes it more effective. This tactic falls flat when there is no reaction and there is a leveling and the waters are calm." And with calm waters, there are safe travels, and peace reigneth. Protest marches causes reaction. Calm, arm in arm, silent marches where thousands can join your clear message of not tolerating their aggression could change an entire environment, your world. Silence is powerful. Love is the most powerful. We love you, Simeon. That was this morning at about 7. And it's a lovely entry to a day. And I enjoy it a lot. And then he spoke about the silent march. I see that silent march as magical. And it is it is the most, yes. And when you're marching arm in arm, you discover and recognize new dearest friends. That's what I was getting to. So much energy is wasted in protest and noise until we realize that's exactly what they want. No, we're not going to give it to them anymore. And when you're recognizing a brand new dearest friend who speaks your language and introduces you to their discoveries and excellence, wonder happens. And this is exactly what happened on a Zoom call of a board meeting of the Peace School. A new board member was being introduced, and after she said just a few words, she lost power and was gone. But that's all I needed. Those few words Megan Gazer spoke was like a key to a new door I had never known before. And I reached out to Susan Terry, who's the founder of the Peace School, who reconnected us. And I found out that Megan is a prolific writer. And she got me with the title of a piece that she wrote and sent to me on my request. It's called The Human Reboot, Recovering Pure Essence. And there's a key word in there we'll speak about a bit later. And here's just the opening paragraph that got me. There is nothing about a caterpillar that tells you it's going to become a butterfly. And yet within the cocoon hides the promise. At some point, the caterpillar realizes it has a much more powerful purpose. In that moment, dormant cells biologists had the genius to call imaginal cells begin to transform. Once the shape shifting is completed, a butterfly emerges in all its glory. I just find that thrilling, especially the key word of imaginal cells. One moment while I just make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah. Imagine. That is perhaps the most important word of a child's vocabulary, and ours too. We have the power to imagine. Imagine loving one another as you've never loved before. Yes, yes, I can. What else do I imagine? I imagine bringing nourishment to everyone on the planet. I imagine bringing a smile to every face as they feel recognized and appreciated. Of course, I want you to join me and feel what you're imagining at this very moment, because I know you are. How about having an idea, telling your friends, and fulfilling it with them? Sharing love, goodness, and creativity throughout the universe. And speaking of universe, I'm brought back to a moment in time I shall never forget. I raised my 3 children, who are parents now, but I raised them in Roslyn, New York. And one day, when David was about 16, we went for a very rare walk around the neighborhood. Only I walked and he was on his bicycle. I can tell you the spot where he said the following. You know, Mom, there are times when I know I can see the entire universe. I just wish that I had the words at that time that I have now to respond. How do we know what our children are seeing when they're sitting quietly? Too many mothers say, "What's the matter?" No, let your child have those moments. They are seeing a private movie. They're seeing a picture book that doesn't exist yet, or maybe never will. But those are precious moments. Don't step on them. Don't intrude. Honor them. And more than that, honor your own imagination. You can imagine anything. The sky is not your limit. The stars are not your ceiling. Imagining goes on forever. Generations and generations share so much. We can travel anywhere, especially when you have wonderful guides like Robert Young and Simeon, who transmit on this very same broadcast 4 times a week. David broadcasts on Friday, and Genya broadcasts on Tuesday. The rest of the week, we listen to Robert and Simeon, except on Thursday. Yeah. And I just wrote just before, I said, we have the power to usher in a bright and beautiful future. Always. Did I miss anything? Because when you are imagining, thank you, I'm glad I did this. And then I wrote just before, perhaps we are just like Megan's butterfly. We came to inhabit this form, and our imagination or our imaginal selves help us to remember who we really are, to remember our origin, our originality, our freedom to love one another as never before. Thank you, Megan. I'm so glad we met, and welcome to the Advancement Center. Yeah. Yeah. That's fun. Now we get to that other place where I get to show my art. But before I do that, I'd love to just tell you my experience, because I see the subject, I get an inner image, And if and when, no ifs, when I bring it to the paper or canvas, I recognize that it's magic. Mandar, our instructor, has flown home to India, and this coming Thursday, our class will be at the same time for us and 8:30 a.m. for him. That's a miracle. And now I'll show you. Here we go. Right, this way. Yeah, there we go. And I just received the most beautiful birthday present from my son, Dan. It was an everlasting supply of pastel paper for my art. So that's it. You learn a lot about yourself when you're creating something with colored chalk or pastels. Yeah. I so enjoyed being with you today. And my wish for you always is a perfect life, perfect health, and a truly magical future. Thank you for listening. I am Barbara.